Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler review series videos I do for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. The weather is pretty crummy out right now, and watching people drive around me is fucking hilarious. One of the things that's kind of awesome about Illinois, it's awesome and terrible. It's funny from like a voyeuristic perspective, not a dealing with a perspective. Is that we live in Illinois, we have some pretty properly shitty winters here, and yet every single year there's this adjustment period for most people out on the roads when it first starts to snow, and they like don't know what they're doing and like whoop, and it's like just drive a little slower, brake a little bit sooner. You should be fine. But every single year, you just watch people suddenly like they're fucking driving clown cars, and they're just like, anyway. But anyway, folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, underneath my grody work coat, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I just like to, I like to highlight the super cool shirt. So what cool super cool shirt am I wearing today? Boom! It's my Cyclone 9 shirt. Which, if you are unfamiliar with the band Cyclone 9, they've actually been around, I believe, since like the early 2000s. The main artistic driving force is a guy named Nero, who is at this point the only original member. And basically he just kind of has a rotating cast of, supporting players around him. He sort of composes, all the musical stuff and everything. I actually got to see these guys perform not too long ago, like literally just a couple days ago at the time I'm doing this. They were phenomenal. It was an excellent show, very theatrical. Their style of music is kind of like, sort of like gothic industrial metal, little electronica and stuff like that. But I really, really enjoyed their set, man. It was a lot of fun. And this was kind of a trilogy for me because previously I'd seen Tim Skold, who kind of works in a similar medium and works with Nero. Then I saw Not My God, which is Tim Skold and Nero's collaborative effort. And then finally, ending it off with Nero's project, which Tim Skold has worked on in the past. So anyway, I really like this group. I had a blast at the show. I actually have a whole bunch of videos from all the bands that performed that night, just in case you're interested. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing? Well, folks, we're taking a, well, that's a little bit, we're taking a trip back to, boom, it's A&W, as in not just the root beer, but the actual restaurant establishments. There are still some around. This one specifically says Mom on it, which is a little bit of a hit. That's because it is the double mushroom onion melt, so M-O-N, mushroom onion melt. It's a little bit of a hit for me, since, and this one I'm sure wasn't intentional on their part, but my mom passed away back just in July, so it's like I saw that and it kind of hit me a little bit. This one's for you, Mom. She certainly was one to enjoy a burger now and again. But yeah, so this is like their featured burger of the month, or however they do it. And I've reviewed some stuff from A&W before. What with this being a burger, it's going to end up on my Burgers for Days playlist. That's where all my burger reviews go. So, let's take a look at this thing. I do love me some mushrooms. Boom! It looks like this. That's not bad. That's a pretty good looking burger. Let's give it a go. Find out how it is. Again, love you, Mom. Miss you every day. Hopefully it's a good burger. I wouldn't want to dedicate a bad burger to my mom. Okay. Okay. Alright, I mean, fundamentally, it's basically a mushroom and Swiss burger. One thing I have to give them a lot of credit for is I got some root beer, because you got to get root beer from A&W. You just have to. Getting it straight from the actual location, it just tastes, it's on a whole other level. If you, and I'm not even the biggest A&W root beer guy, I like it, but it's not my favorite. If you have the opportunity to try from an actual location, there's something special about it. But anyway, Yeah, fundamentally, it's a mushroom and Swiss burger, just with the addition of the grilled onions, which are a nice addition. They give it, a little something extra. It's very tasty, very flavorful with the mushrooms and the onions. To her credit, the mushrooms actually taste really good. A lot of times when you have fast food mushrooms, they tend to be pretty weak. I mean, it depends on where you go, to be fair, but a lot of times they're not very impressive. They're probably from a can or something. These may very well be from a can, but I don't know. But if you go over there, you cook them up the right way, you can still give them quite a bit of flavor. And that appears to be what they did here. They have a really nice flavor to them. I like the mushroom flavor quite a bit. Melted cheese is nice. It's cheesy, it's gooey. Yeah. It's a good burger. I like it. I like it quite a bit. Grilled onions. I'm not the biggest onion guy in the world, but if you grill some onions, you caramelize them a little bit. Kind of take the edge off them. They can be a great addition, and onions and mushrooms work really well together. So, I mean, yeah, point for point, this is a pretty solid burger from A&W. Now, all that said, do I have points of contention? I do. Because, if you notice, one of the things I didn't mention was the burger itself. And that's kind of been a point, it's sort of been an issue for me since I've been trying out the A&W stuff. Their food is decent. It kind of falls in a similar category to like Culver's or Freddy's or Steak and Shake, where it's that little bit more premium kind of fast food experience. But the thing is like, if I'm going to look at those as examples, obviously, Culver's, they hang their hat on their butter burgers. Steak and Shake, they've got the steak burgers. Freddy's, they use steak burgers too. I don't think they're quite as pronounced with it. They're more hot dog oriented, but they, still put... The thing with A&W is like their burgers are decent, but they're not really remarkable. They kind of fall a little bit flat compared to some of the other things that they have. Now, all that said, it's not a bad burger at all, but it's just the beef. I don't know if it's the beef that they're using, the way that they're preparing it. I don't know. It's not bad. But it's not, if I'm looking at them as being in that category of, again, more sort of premium-ish fast food, that's the one area where I feel like they kind of let themselves down a little bit. Because the beef, I just feel, is just okay. It does what it needs to do, but it doesn't have really any personality to make it stand out. And considering how long A&W's been around, that's kind of a shame. Because I really do feel like if they would, just maybe go back, tweak the seasoning, I don't know. Just to give it something that makes it so when you bite into it, it's an A&W burger. I think that would really put them into that upper tier structure. But, all that said, it is a tasty burger. Fundamentally, like I said, it's a mushroom and Swiss burger, which I personally like quite a bit. And the mushrooms are good. The onions were a nice addition. I don't dislike anything about it. The beef is a little bit underwhelming, but it's not even close to being a bad burger. It's pretty solid, all things considered. Now, that said, 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I'm going to go with yes-ish and sure. And here's why. For myself personally, I do like this burger. And out of the burgers that I've had from A&W, it's probably one of my personal favorites that I've had because, again, I like mushroom and Swiss burgers. Counterpoint to that, can I get better mushroom and Swiss burgers? Yes. I have a few Culver's around me. They have a really good mushroom and Swiss burger. This one doesn't quite stand up to that, but it's still good. And if I'm in the area and I want, maybe an A&W specifically, it's probably a burger I would go back to. But if I'm recommending it to people, I mean, again, first and foremost, you have to like a mushroom and Swiss burger. That's what it is. But I think that, it's a solid representation of a mushroom Swiss, especially for a fast food establishment. Is it astonishing? Is it groundbreaking? No. But again, I'll give them a little credit. The mushrooms tasted good, and the onions were nice. So it's certainly something worth trying, and it's not a bad burger. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You go over there and yourselves a truly mushroom and Swiss-tastic rest of your life. Now, I know some people are going to be like, Brandon, I don't like mushrooms. I don't like blah, 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 blah. It's my channel. But, I mean, hey, if you don't like mushrooms, I don't know. Whatever that, carrots. Have a carrot-tastic day if that's what works for you. I like carrots. They're fine. I feed them mostly to my hamsters, but, you know. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you gotta do, folks. And try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, I know it. I live it. I'm out there with you in it. It can be a thing, man, you know. Like I said, as much as I was kind of joking around about people driving around and stuff, I mean, you know, hey, I hope everyone gets home safe. I hope no one has issues with their cars, because, you know, hey, you know, I ain't perfect. I've certainly spun out on a bad road here and there in my, you know, especially in my younger days. Shit happens, you know. I hope everybody does well, regardless of whether you're in the snow, the dark, the, you know, the rain, what have you, or just, you know, in general. But when we do occasionally run into those situations, hopefully we're, you know, safe and everything is good. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholesness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you happen to know whoever the fuck is in charge of A&W at this point. I imagine it's a very, very old person. Like, his name is probably like Cornelius or some shit, or fucking, you know, some biblical name like Jebediah or something. Because he's got to be, like, because it's an old establishment at this point, you know. But you go over there, you talk to whoever that is, you know, maybe he's got one of those, like, you know, big old horns he puts to his ear. Maybe you go over there and you're like, hey, look, I know that these burgers were pretty solid from, like, you know, from, like, 1874. But, like, maybe we could upgrade them a little bit these days, you know? Maybe we could go over there. I'm just saying, I saw this fat guy on the internet. He seems to know what he's talking about. And then he'll be over there and he'll be like, blah, 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 internet, blah, 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 blah. And then he'll have a stroke and die because you won't be able to comprehend that. But it's all right, because then you go over there and, like, you know, you just kind of close up his office and everything. And you just sort of give, you know, commands from behind the scenes and stuff, and it's like a whole thing. Eventually you'll go mad with power, but before you get to that point, let's see if we can upgrade the A&W burgers a little bit. I'm just saying. Or conversely, more likely, A&W is probably run by a conglomerate of people and probably owned by a larger company who don't give 2 shits and a fuck. But, hey, maybe one of them will see my review and be like, we're not going to listen to this guy. Good plan. Bye!